So what's up guys, it's your boy AJ, bringing you a year review, and this was inspired by a Solace member, Cephalotaxis. He did his own EHP year review, so I figured I'd do mine since I think mine's a little more unique than most people's, or I guess different than most people's. I have, I'm not even on the right thing here, 1 second. I don't even have the year opened. Oh my god. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, so record. Okay, so we got past 365 days here. Okay, so to start off, I'll just go through a sort of timeline. So basically this year started with my daughter being born. She's now 1 year old, or 1 year old, sorry. And at that point, I was doing 100 weeks. And then obviously I dropped off, like right when obviously she was born. So I was sort of doing a dual core sleep schedule, but I just kind of dropped off, and it kind of messed up ever since, I had to wake up in the middle of the night, like in the middle of my sleeps to, take care of the baby. And so that plan didn't work out. And so basically for the month of August, was kind of just all over the place. I don't think I really did that well. I probably averaged like 70 hours, 60 hours a week or something like that. I was only working at the time. And come September, I started working and going part-time uni. I had 2 classes a semester. And so yeah, working 40 hours a week. Well, like 30, 35 hours a week. And then I had 2 classes. So, it was a pretty hefty schedule, for me at least, having to, raise a child, go to school and go to work, and try to squeeze in some Rooney at the same time. So I think at that point I was probably like really burnt, like September, October-ish. October not so much. September, in the middle of September, I had a bachelor party because I'll explain later. I had a wedding, but I had my bachelor party, and I broke my left hand, my wrist, I guess, and I was in a cast for I think 14 weeks. So no, not 14. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, up until the middle of November. So probably about 9, 10 weeks, and then I had my wedding at the end of September. So basically the month of September was just really bad. Like I was on top of me being burnt as well. So it was really bad. I think it was like maybe like 200 EHP at best at the time. And I was still fishing. Now when I had my cast on, I was still able to fish, just only with my keyboard. So it didn't hinder my gains that much. It was just kind of annoying to have to deal with it. So that might have contributed to me being burnt. But throughout the months of August, November, and most of December, I kind of just left everything. Like I didn't join CC. I didn't go on Twitter at all. I didn't tweet once. I didn't like any tweets. I didn't join TeamSpeaks. And I was basically just in hibernation, kind of. I don't know. I just wanted to, take a break from the community for a few months, and I did. And my gains were actually pretty good at the time. I think I was doing a steady like 70s, 80s with like all my school work and dealing with my daughter. So I was pretty motivated at that time, despite not really having anyone to talk to, or like, I mean, I had people to talk to. I just refused to talk to anybody. But I was pretty motivated. I had definitely one of my peak moments in the year, for sure, averaging like 300, 350 months. Definitely had a boost to the 3.1k year here, almost 3.2k. And then come December, obviously I started talking to people again, and I was getting pretty close to finishing fishing. And when I got back from a trip to Ontario for 2 weeks, we basically decided to move because we didn't want to rent anymore. We were living in like an apartment, paying like however much money we were paying per month for rent, and we decided now we don't want to do that. So we didn't buy a house. We just moved into her and into my wife's old parents' house, which they were trying to sell. So we lived there. We spent a good month moving, so I didn't really get to play that much, although I did always squeeze in games when I could, and I wasn't really burnt at the time. I'd say I was pretty, decently motivated. And then throughout the month of February, I think I was the most motivated out of this whole year. I think February I did like a 370 month or something like that. And I think I was sleeping biphasically, so that would be like 6.5 hours at night, and then a 20-minute nap during the afternoon, which I was able to nap while I was at work. So yeah, that was a big boost to the year for sure, that 370 month. And then after that, I just kind of dropped off. That's basically when fantasy EHP started, is when I started being really burnt. I think I did like one good week during fantasy, like a decent week for Team Death, sort of like probably in the middle of May, I'd want to say. And yeah, so, and I was still taking 2 courses a semester up until the end of the spring semester. And come June, we moved again, but this time we bought a house. We actually, got a loan and paid up front. And we got our own house. It took us like another month to move or whatever, and we were really busy. It was probably the busiest time of this whole year, of these past 365 days. And I started taking in the summer, starting in June, I started taking an appraisal course online, of course. So just one course online. And I wouldn't say it's just like a simple uni course. It's pretty challenging. Like I couldn't get away with taking 2 of them, but I could get away with taking 2 uni courses, if that helps understand the difficulty of the course. Yeah, and then I was working fully 40 hours a week at that point because I didn't have any class time to go to, since all my coursework was just done online. And yeah, so the month of June and the month of July, I was super burnt, like probably the most burnt out of the whole year. And I guess mostly because I didn't really see myself getting, like, I don't know, I just my mentality wasn't that good. I wasn't motivated, probably because money was kind of an issue at that point, thinking like, what am I going to do after I finish fishing? When I had long finished fishing at that point. I think I finished it like back in March or something like that, and then along with cooking and strength. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and my path was kind of unclear. I had just finished my Rune Drag alt / Vorkath alt, and I was starting crafting, but I didn't really like it. I didn't like doing crafting with Vorkath, and I wasn't even going to be able to sustain it at black d'hide bodies, and that started making me feel burnt because I didn't want to basically be forced to do battle stabs or some cheaper method for a Bible, whether it be for crafting or herblore. So I just did rune crafting, and I've been rune crafting ever since, kind of alternating between solo lavas and alt lavas, but now I'm mainly just doing those solo lavas. So I don't exactly remember why I was super burnt between June and July. Probably, actually, I think it was just because I didn't like. I guess there's like a line that I kind of draw mentally, and then sort of like how much free time I have. And at this point, I live an hour away from my work, and I spend 2 hours a day driving. And it kind of just started and slowly got to me that like I have like basically no time to play, and it's just like when you come home at like 7 o'clock at night and you go to bed at like 10, you have to eat and you have to shower, brush your teeth, and hang out with your family and do all that fun stuff. You really like I really don't have much time to play. I have like maybe an hour at best, and like for some reason like I just thought that like what's the point? I'm not gonna bother like trying hard, so I just kind of feel lazy and not really try to use that hour most productively on RS. I mean, I've kind of changed since then. I am actually kind of using my free time as much as I can now, but at that time I just didn't really like the idea. Like I guess there's like a minimum like threshold of like how much time I have relative to how like motivated I can be, and like 20 hours of free time per week is just like a little too low for me to really care about trying. Or I mean, for me, for what for I wasn't caring about trying. Like like I said, like I'm motivated now, but yeah. So those 2 months were like 200 EHP, something like that, and I barely made it to the 3K year. I thought I didn't. At the end, I thought I wasn't really going to make it, and I kind of had the goal in my head, like I want to get like at least like a 3K year, just to see if I can do it, and glad I did. So a little more in depth on everything here now. So with fishing, 104 mil XP in the past 365 days. That's actually more than I thought. I thought I did most fishing before my daughter was born, because I did most of my fishing actually AFKing at work. And then I slowly transitioned into other methods and then eventually just agility at work. So I didn't think I had that much. I guess I AFK'd a lot of fishing while I was at home as well on the phone before just moving on to redwoods, I guess. So yeah, that's basically fishing was definitely my favorite skill so far. I kind of like it better than mining, really. It's just I kind of like this. It's a little more simple, and I guess it's just easier, and it's a lot easier to zone out too, for me. I did a nice 6 hour last summer before this year started. I think I averaged 114K, and probably the most fun 6 hour I've ever done. And yeah, I didn't really do like Jenny death fishing, like cut eat pickup fishing, I guess. I just did simple cut eat fishing. And so the agility XP, 105 mil agility, I want to say that 80% of that agility is, I want to call it zero time, but some people don't call it zero time. I do it while I'm at work. So like I'm able to just do agility 8 hours a day at work, and then I can get everything done. So I'm not like wasting time at all, and it's definitely the most efficient thing for me to do. I mean, agility, most people just use it for money to make like whatever, however many mils an hour they want to make, or make their alts or whatever. And I don't really have that opportunity if I want to use it for just AFKing while I'm at work. So that's where most of my money issues come from, is the fact that I basically lose out on all my agility XP because it's just more efficient for me to do it at work. So that kind of burns, that kind of is a demotivation factor for me. But I mean, I get like 2 mil a weeks just from work, so it's always like it's always like a cushion, I guess. Like you could say, my week can't really drop below more than 40, I guess. Like realistically, like 40, 45. I can't really drop below that unless I like have like a day off work, or I'm on like a vacation for 2 days or something like that. Then obviously it can drop below, because I know if I'm on vacation, I'm probably busy with other things IRL, not really just spending the whole day playing RS. So yeah, but I mean, it's not going to last for long. I'm like a 156 mil agility now, so at this rate I'll be done in probably just under half a year. So I'm not really looking forward to that, but I do have a replacement method. I'd probably just do runesmithing, which is not as much EHP per hour, but oh well, it's the next best option. And I think most of my XP in this game is going to be AFK'd at this point, moving forward. So, and I'm out of zone hours now. You see, I have 231 from attack, and then 217 from strength. That's EHP, sorry. 217 EHP and 231. So about close, basically 450 hours from zone. And I definitely zoned pretty much every single time I slept. like the 20-minute AFK. Set the command on your PC to turn off after 25 minutes, and good to go. And then every time like when I did polyphasic sleep, if I slept like twice a day, then I get to do that twice a day, that never zone thing. And before I go out to work, I zone, and when I'm leaving to go back home, I zone. So it's like it kind of builds up to about an hour to an hour and a half of zone per day, plus a lot more if I'm ever like out and I can't do anything else but zone, or I'm on vacation. Yeah, I guess that's the same thing. And I guess when I'm just doing something IRL that just it's too hard to just do with woodcutting and I need to focus on it or something like that, then I would zone. And then the occasional time when I'm just like burnt and I don't even want to do redwoods, then I did zone for sure. So I drained all my zone hours this year, so I have nothing left for zone. I do on my week. I have, for some reason, I don't know exactly why. I think it has something to do with defense XP or something. But I have 1.2 mil attack XP and 0.50 of that, and then 0.50 EHP from that. Not sure exactly what the calculation is on that, but I guess I'm getting a little bit here and there, but not really anything significant, because that would be nearly 7 or 8 EHP if it was pre me running out of zone hours. So you could add like 7 hours to my week right now. It's 52. I'd be on a 60 week if I still had those zone hours, but obviously it's zone hours. It's zero time. Might as well call it a 52 week. So back to the year here. So yeah, that was the zone hours. I still zone as much as I did before. I don't feel inclined to zone less. My goal is to get like 150 mil attack. I have 200 mil strength. I'm 30 mil attack away, and then once I finish that, I'm gonna do zone range, and I think I'll get EHP from that. I think I'm not sure what the rate is, but it'll still be a little bit of boost to my weeks here and there. Wood cutting. I want to say about half of that, maybe a little more than half of that, is from redwoods. The rest of it is me doing 2 tick teaks and 1.5 tick teaks, either just because I was bored of whatever I was doing before, or I thought it was efficient for me to do. I did enjoy doing 1.5 tick teaks for the whatever couple mil XP that I did it for. Really good method. It reminds me a lot of quarry mining. It's a little bit harder than quarry mining. It's a little bit faster. Oh, a little bit faster. It's it's over 200k an hour once you get good at it. So it's better than 2 tick teaks. You can't get crashed. It's just a great method. It's really fun too. Yeah, most of it was redwoods. I do redwoods pretty much in every situation where I'm at my house, but I'm not at my computer. So like if I'm doing chores, cleaning, eating, even eating with my family, I always do redwoods. I don't really do much phone agility. I don't really do phone agility at all. I kind of did for a little bit, but I don't remember why I did it. I know I did some redwoods during class time back when I was going to uni. Most of the uni time was doing 5 tick fishing though on the phone, but there was definitely a period where I was doing redwoods. Yeah, I don't see myself getting 200 mil wood cutting from redwoods, just purely redwoods. So I don't mind like the XP that I did spend doing 2 tick teaks, 1.5 tick teaks. I don't regret at all, because I think by the time I finish all the other skills, I'll probably be like close to 150, 160 mil wood cutting at best. So I'll still have like a lot of spare XP to do those fun methods, or 1.5 tick teaks at this point, which I am kind of looking forward to. But I'm not going to do it like now. I'll just wait till I finish everything else, because unless I really, really desperately need money or something like that, and I need to make a quick, quick couple 100 mil, I could just do like rune drags or like gargalt or gargoyles or something like that, or even abbey demons during wood cutting if I really, really need the money. But I don't think I'll run into that problem. I'll probably know ahead of time if I need money, and try to adjust my whatever I'm doing accordingly. 9 mil fire making, that's just 0 time. 1 mil fletching, I think that's when I was doing 2 tick teaks. just fletching at the same time. Nothing special there. 60 mil cooking was just me fishing and finishing cooking after I finished fishing. Doing 1-tick ROMs. Prayers are some zone. Magic is from farm runs and runecrafting, I guess. Yeah. Range is, I'm not sure. Range, I actually cannoned Lizardmen for the Xerix Talisman because it's efficient to get if you're going to do a lot of redwoods. 34 mil farming. Now I stopped farming recently. I was only doing one run a day anyway. I'm currently 169 mil farming, and I'm gonna get the rest through one farm run a day. But I'm not doing it right now because I wanna have as much capital as possible right now to flip and make lots of money from that. So I'm taking a break from farming for the time being. But when I have a lot more money, I'll just buy the rest of the supplies in one go and just do it, or maybe just buy like 10 mil XP at a time or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of nice to just not do farm runs at all. Like I did them ever since I started really skilling, and it's kind of a change to just not do it. I still get my daily battle stabs, but I don't do farm runs anymore, and it's a little bit of sense of freedom, I guess. 90k Slayer, I think that was also with Zone because I had a Black Demon task or something like that. 1.8 mil Herblore. Not sure actually why I have that. I think maybe I was testing something, maybe with anti-venoms or something like that. Crafting, that's when I did Vorkath for whatever amount of hours and just burnt from it. And runecrafting 5 mil. I'm slowly but surely getting some runecrafting XP, almost 20 mil, and like the method. Just wish that ZMI wasn't a thing or alt trading wasn't a thing, because I kind of always feel pressure to make more money than I need to if I was just doing lavas. Just to see if I could maybe do some ZMI down the road. If I just like stop at 50 mil or 100 mil RC and just do ZMI for the rest or something like that, and try to somehow find the money to do it. But kind of just wish those methods weren't in the game in the first place. So yeah, 3.1k hours, that adds up to, not sure where the 250 XP from construction is, but whatever. Who cares? 3.1k, nearly 3.2k, and that's an average of just under, hang on, let me whip out the calculator, not the calendar. 365 divided by 3180, and that is, alright, I did it reverse. 3180 divided by 365 is 8.71 hours per day. And I think like probably about 80% of it is AFKing and not sitting at my computer. Realistically, I probably have like 2 hours at most computer time per day for the year. So just maybe we'll call it 1k EHP at best. 1k hours spent at the computer this year. Actually actively like either fishing or runecrafting or woodcutting or whatever. So not really much free time, but really utilizing the zero time methods for sure, making the most of it, and probably making the most out of it as much as anyone else in the game. Maybe some people take advantage of it more than I do, but I definitely take advantage of it a lot. Like I definitely have over 2,000 hours just from zero time skilling. So that's a lot. I never actually thought about that, but it's probably gonna be the same thing as well. So for next year. So plans for next year. Actually, I'll just talk about the last few bits of this year. I'm definitely satisfied with it. I didn't think I was kind of a little skeptical on whether I'd be still playing about it at this point. My daughter being a year old and having to raise her, and really surprised that I have pulled through and managed to get a 3.1k year. With all the obligations that I have, I'm definitely proud of that. Not as impressive as some people's years, but definitely a unique one, I'd say. And I don't even know who I'd compare my year to. Like, I don't know who's most comparable to my year. Probably, it'd be hard to say. I guess you basically compare it to anybody who uses zero time methods and takes advantage of them as much as possible. So like, I don't know, people like I'd say people like Seth, Ceph is a pretty good comparison. It's probably one of the closest comparisons, and it's not really that close. But yeah, closest, one of the closest for sure. So plans for next year. I definitely want to get at least 50 mil RC and then see how much money I have by the time I get there. I do rune drags on and off with it, so but I think most of my money is made from Grand Exchange, so that's the main focus. So yeah, get 50 mil RC, probably more. Realistically, I don't know if I'd stop at 50 mil. I kind of don't want to keep going past 100 mil because I really want to kind of see it through to the end and see how much money I have with all the other skills done, especially like prayer and construction and herbler, I guess. And yeah, so eventually my agility is going to run out. I estimate that it'll be out by the end of the year. Actually, no, not the end of the year. Maybe halfway through next year. So we'll say like 8 to 10 months from now, because I don't think I'll be doing as much agility with my new job that I'll be starting. Because I'll be on the road a lot, and I'll be less at a computer. So yeah, but when I do run out, I'll do rune items, make a little bit of money, save a little bit of money from having to do gold bars. And maybe, I don't know, if it's really AFK, I might even be able to do like rune drags or some kind of AFK alt while I'm working, if it's just 2 AFK, which, you know, just more and more money. So, and money is still an issue for me, but I'm more comfortable with it now, and have a better idea better indication of what I'm able to do in terms of money and tournament all. Basically, lavas. Doing solo levels would be the only limitation that I'd set myself, hopefully, unless like there's just more and more expensive methods down the line, which probably will happen for other skills, like maybe even like Slayer might get a lot more expensive, who knows. It's like break even now, but it's slowly getting more expensive. People are doing faster methods. So yeah, no more zone hours, unfortunately, but I'll still be zoning all the time until I get to the range where I think I might get some zone hours. So not as much as attack and strength, but you know, some, like maybe like 0.2 or 0.3 HP per hour, per hour of in game. I don't think I'll finish farming next year. I still have, you know, like at least 3 years to go until Tourmail is finished, and I don't really care too much about the rank I get anymore, because if I do, I just get kind of demotivated, because I know a top 10 finish is not really realistic unless a lot of people burn out that I expect not to burn out. But yeah, 11k HP now. I recently got that, and I think that's about 6 or 7k EHP left until the game's finished. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything much more to say. I guess the goal for next year is another 3k, like realistically speaking. I have moved on to dual core sleep again, like I was doing last summer before my daughter was born, and I want to see if I can maintain that again. I did maintain it for 2 months without any fatigue or any issues. It just, I got too stressed out and couldn't sleep at the right times, and it just collapsed basically. But yeah, I want to see how far I can push it again, and hopefully get back to 70, 80 weeks and try to keep it steady. I think I'll be able to keep it steady for at least until November. And then once November hits, you know, a career change happens, and the job change happens, so it might just be too stressful, and I might have to switch back to monophasic again. But yeah, see if how much I can boost this year by for the next couple months, or next 1, 2, 3 months. 3 months. Definitely looking for some big hours here, and hopefully I can keep this motivation up. I have definitely gotten into a better routine with you know, balancing family, balancing work, balancing school. So hopefully I can just maintain that and not be burnt again, because being burnt just sucks. Like, it just, not wanting to log in the game just makes me feel lazy. Like, I don't really want to do anything else, because there's nothing really else to do. Like, I can spend time with my family, but you know, you can only spend so much time before you just need some time alone. and definitely make it most. I want to be able to make the most out of my time alone, and that's the goal for this year. Is to keep up the the balancing, keep up the balance, and keep up the motivation, and keep up the hours, and hopefully see it through in terms of tuner all and the money issue, and just have fun. I guess the bottom line is just have fun and you know take over the free ranks. Even though there's not really much more to take over, I can pass Vestfold, I can pass Razor Beast, maybe Oscar, probably not. I don't know what his forecast is for the future, but yeah, maybe get like maybe still maintain my top 10 rank by the end of the year if I'm lucky. That'd be kind of cool, but hopefully see myself at a good 14k EHP by the end of this year if no devaluation happens. So, but other than that, yeah, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.